Howdy there, I'm Gabriel, and this video is going to be titled, Is an Economic Collapse Coming Soon? And first I'll just give a quick heads up that in this video I will most likely display my ignorance of economics. I just have a basic cursory understanding of economics and the financial system and various shenanigans going on behind the scenes as a result of watching various videos, reading articles online, and trying to put together a general sense and picture of what's really going on in the world economy at this time. So from what I understand, then the world economy is a major house of cards at the moment that is really on the verge of collapsing. And it could happen any day at this point. There are many top economists who are warning of this. I watch the videos of Greg Hunter, who has a YouTube channel, and his website is usawatchdog.com. But his videos are very interesting, and it is not fringe out there conspiracy theory discussion. It is top economists from presidential administrations and owners of large corporations and people who are truly in the know, insiders in the economic and financial worlds, who are coming on the show and talking about the current state of the economy. And across the board, they are all warning that there is a major imbalance in the economic structure at this time that is on the verge of something big. So one of the main issues is the concept of derivatives. And I'm not going to claim to understand how this works, but in essence, derivatives are sort of a bet on a bet on a bet of within the financial world of just these different financial instruments that are leveraged against other financial instruments. I know this doesn't really make a lot of sense. Feel free to look on Wikipedia for a more concise explanation. But in short, there are all these bets being made against one another that add up to quadrillions of dollars, and there's no way to know exactly what the amount is. At the low end, then they're saying somewhere in the realm of 300 to 500 trillion, but chances are it's much higher than that. So there's all these bets that are not backed up by real value, and it's basically people who are making money off of these bets, but it's it's a house of cards. It's not backed up in the real world, and it can't go on forever. So that's the concept in a nutshell. Another important thing to understand is the concept of money printing. And the Federal Reserve, who the chairman of the Federal Reserve is Ben Bernanke, is currently printing money at the rate of, I believe, about $85 billion per month, and injecting that into the financial system. And that is what is propping up the economy at this time. That is why the stock market is at all-time highs, even as the basic economic indicators are not strong because of this money printing by the Federal Reserve, otherwise known as quantitative easing. So in the month of June, then the Federal Reserve did a test of sorts, even though they didn't call it a test. They said, Ben Bernanke announced, it's possible that at some point in the future we might be pulling back on the money printing just a little bit. And this resulted in a dive in the stock market. Simply the mere suggestion that at some point in the future the Federal Reserve might just cut back a bit on the money printing sent people into a panic. And then the next week, then all kinds of people were coming out, congressmen and stuff, and saying, no, he didn't mean that the quantitative easing will continue. with no let up, and things return to normal, and the stock market is still up at all-time highs. But that was a little test, so some say, by the Federal Reserve to put that out there. What's going to happen if we suggest that we might cut back on this money printing? And they realized that it was not a good reaction, and so they retracted that. But this also is something that cannot continue forever, cannot be sustained. There's lots of other stuff going on. Obviously, there's the major problems in Europe. Banks keep getting downgraded. Everyone is saying that the banks are not, their books are not balanced. They're not backed up properly, and they're all overstating, what they actually have in value. And so it's just this extreme house of cards across the board and worldwide in such a way that has never existed before. Not even in the 1920s was it in this precarious of a state. So that's just my own little take on what's going on in the world economy. Do some searching around. I'll go ahead and put a link down below this video to Greg Hunter's YouTube channel if you want to check out some of his videos. He puts out weekly videos and some pretty compelling interviews, and just do some research around. Be aware, be keeping this in mind, that the system as we know it will not necessarily continue as we've known it, ad infinitum into the future. There is a lot of evidence that a very, very big shift could be on the horizon and coming sometime soon. So just be aware and be informed, and try not to get sucked into the mainstream news stories of the latest criminal trial that's being sensationalized and plastered across the networks 24/7, and the birth of the prince and princess's new baby. That's exciting for them, that's great, but there are other things going on in the world that these types of stories are deliberately distracting us from. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Take care.